Hi, good morning, friends. This is Vinitprabhatpandey, and as you can see, the background, it's a tent. So, literature scholar or the one who has studies in his heart is always talking about studies. And yes, there's beautiful scenarios surrounding, and these tents reminds me something which was painful, which was troublesome, and which was not that good. Yes, good friends. We are going to talk about Holocaust literature. What is Holocaust? So before we start Holocaust literature, I'll ask you a very simple question that we all have started studying net. Many of you are working very hard. Many of you are spending 18 hours, 20 hours to prepare net JRF. How many of you have ever heard what is Holocaust? Holocaust. Holocaust literature. Ask yourself. So friends, in Holocaust we are going to talk about the mass slaughter, the mass murder of the Jews by Hitler. These were the Nazi camps. Hitler was of the view that he wanted the earth to be freed from the Jews, and there is a kind of record state and we have this kind of documentation that approx 6 million Jews were killed. 6 million Jews. Was it possible for Hitler to kill everyone with a bullet? No. Did he use any nuclear weapon? No. So what did he do to kill them all? Yes, friends, like these kind of tents, lot of tents were arranged. There were camps called concentration camps, and those Jews were given inhuman tortures. Today early morning when I was preparing this thing, I thought that I must share these things with you all. Friends, these were the people who were kept in the concentration camp to be killed. There were vivisections. Vivisection is when you cut the human part, human body, and you do some experiments. There were a lot of chemical tests on the human bodies and all types of DNA mixing and other things. In short, one of the cruelest thing. There is a chamber of horror in London Museum which is based entirely on Holocaust. I'm going to tell you about most important writers because in Delhi University, JNU and certain good universities, people they are studying the same thing. There was a writer Charlotte Delbo. Once she wrote, her famous work is None of Us Will Return. She said, I'm going to write something. If it is true, I'm not sure. But yes, it is certain and I'm afraid. She was the one, she experienced her childhood in concentration camp. They would have numbers, they were given the dates to be killed one by one. You can imagine the agony, the trauma. There's a Booker Award writer, Thomas Neely. He has famously written a famous work, Schindler's Ark, which has been repeatedly asked in NET exam. Then here he talks about a gentleman who saved 1200 plus Jews, one of the records. And then there are people like William Styron who has written Sophie's Choice, a lady who has always given a choice. Sophie here has been given a choice that she has to send one of her kids to die, either her son or the daughter, and she chooses her daughter to be saved and son to be killed. So there are a lot of other books I'm going to tell you one by one, and before I tell you all these books, the most important thing is subscribe the channel so that you can get latest details, and you can WhatsApp me on the number to get the notes of these things, which is totally free for all of you. Now I'm going to tell you certain names of the writers. Please make sure you write down those things. Number one, as I was studying here, number one is Elie Wiesel. It's Wiesel. Famous work Night. The next book is Dawn. Anne Frank, The Diary of a Young Girl, one of the classic and a must-read book. Then we have John Boyne, The Boy in the Street Pajamas. Yes, friends, many of you must have seen the movie also. The Boy in the Street Pajama is a must-watch movie and a must-read book. Then we have Primo Levi, Survival in Auschwitz. Auschwitz is one of the famous locations of concentration camps. Louis Lowry, Number the Star, one of the important books, not for SET exam, only for NET exam. Thomas Neely, as I told you, Schindler's Ark, and Bernard Schlink, author of The Flight of Love. And the last work is Levita Bitin, I Have Lived 1,000 Years. These are the most important works that you have to prepare right now. These are the approx 10 writers. Start reading about them. Just start with the writer, try to understand what is Holocaust, and you can also read a blog there that Holocaust literature in India, importance of Holocaust, because it has been repeatedly compared to Dalit literature, the tormentation, torture and other things. Once again, I'll suggest you all that whenever you study, get involved study so that these kind of symbols and references, they simply remind you of your knowledge. Along with these things, I'll thank my cameraman. Thank you so much. Take care.